look at the future not in terms of trying to work out what will happen, but try to work out what it is we can do today to shape the future that we want. So of course, when we're looking at the disruption to the nature of work, what we need to focus on is what is intrinsically human. Whereas those best performing organizations are the ones that are literally creating the future. The ones that are seeing the changes as opportunities to be able to reinvent themselves, to become new organizations. We're seeing one of the most fundamental shifts is a power to the individual from the institution. The meaningful unit of the economy today is not organizations, it's individuals. You cannot build a relationship where you create value together unless you have respect for your customer. As the world changes, we will need to learn. Learn as never before, in schools, in universities, and for our entire lives. People who are not disabled may start to choose to modify themselves to have brain implants so that they can give themselves greater capabilities, greater memory, greater ability to think, which might even give them an advantage in the workplace, for example. Computers can actually make better decisions than referees. Well, I think it's pretty safe to say that we will continue to
We will be doing more shopping? Excellent.
It also gives mobility to people who can't drive. As technology gives us so many more options, including the options to turn back. As gods make wise decisions with what we can do with those powers. I'd like you to imagine you could choose to live at any time in human history. So when would you choose to be alive? Maybe during the Renaissance, when there was an explosion of creativity and art and science. Or maybe choose to live in the Roman times when they really knew how to throw a party. But for me, there's absolutely no question. Now is the most exciting time in human history. Now is the time when the pace of change is so great that every day my minds are boggled by all of the things that are changing, by the new possibilities for individuals, for organizations, indeed for humanity. So what exciting times we live in. And this is just the beginning. And there's a lot of different ways to be able to look at this. I mean, of course, there are challenges when the world is changing and we need to be able to keep up. But at the same time, there are amazing opportunities. And the wise man once said, as long as the universe is changing, there will be opportunities. And given the pace of change today, there are extraordinary opportunities coming forward. And it is all about our attitude. The future will unfold in amazing and unpredictable ways. And our ability to make a better world for ourselves, our community, for those around it, all comes from our attitude and how we think. So to look at the world today, and looking particularly in your world, I suppose the key dimension is the difference between humans and machines. And in this video you can see that there are 3 robots and there are 3 humans. And if you have a little look, you can probably work out which one is which. But this is actually already just around 5-year-old technology. We are beginning to get closer to the point where we can't distinguish between the humans and the machines, at least from the outside. So it is around what is inside us, around who we are as humans, that will come to fruition, will blossom even more than before in a world of technology. And there's dozens of domains where machines are now exceeding the capabilities of humans. This does not mean that humans are redundant. In fact, we can say there's 3 primary domains where humans will always exceed machines. Deep expertise, knowing a lot about particular concepts and having the context for it. Creativity and imagination, coming up with new ideas. And relationships, empathy, understanding people, relating to people, helping them to change who they are. and all of the intersections of these recreating the jobs of the future, the work of the future. So it's not a question of machines replacing humans. It's a question of saying, how do we design organizations where machines and humans work together, where every job still remains, but every job is supported by machines and brings out not just what is best about people, to humanize work, to rehumanize work, to make work as human as possible, and to tap our potential, to be able to use technology not to replace us, but to make us more human, to make us able to express what is best about us, what we can do the best with ourselves and our lives. Joseph Campbell was a comparative mythologist. He studied the stories and the myths and the peoples all around the world, in every continent. And what he found is that the stories of every people around the world is in fact the same story. It's what he called the hero's journey. And basically the hero's journey goes that people are in their everyday life and they are called beyond. There is something which pushes them out, that calls them beyond into a difficult, challenging world where they encounter many challenges. They encounter people that help them along their way. But finally they go and they take something and they create something and find something of value and bring that back to them, their family, their community, and those around them. And that we are all on this hero's journey in this extraordinary, yes, it is the most exciting time in human history. That means it is the most challenging time in human history. So we need to understand those challenges, use those challenges to call us beyond, to go on that journey, to be able to, in this case, to be able to see and to be able to create the future of travel.